What's up YouTube, this is Dom here from Movie Nerd Reviews, here to update all of you on the annual movie news, reviews, and clues. Wow, just wow. Not in the good way. Well, here it is, my official review for X-Men Apocalypse, folks. Not pretty, that's all I have to say. Not pretty. So X-Men Apocalypse is a sequel to 2014 smash hit X-Men Days of Future Past, directed once again by Bryan Singer, the man who arguably started the superhero phenomenon of the 21st century. This entry in the Mutant Saga takes a look at the world post-Wolverine's time-altering antics in the previous installment, showing us a peaceful new Xavier's Institute, a bunch of awesome new recastings of some familiar faces, as well as the old faces that we came to know and love about the new prequel trilogy. However, when an ancient evil and Saba Noor, the world's first mutant, is reawakened and brought into a world that has grown weak in his eyes, he sets out to cleanse the earth, and it's up to our favorite band of mutants to stop him. Now, before I go on my massive rant about all the things I hated about this movie, let me get out of the way the things that I did like. First off, the recastings of the younger versions of Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Kurt Wagner, aka Nightcrawler, were fantastic. Singer knocked it out of the park with the casting as Ty Sheridan from Mud and Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, and Cody Smith-McPhee from The Road and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes were all fantastic as the Young Mutants, and I cannot stress enough how excited I am to see these guys in future installments. The pacing for this movie was horrific, but I really have to say I enjoyed the first two-thirds of this movie. When Alex brings Scott into the school for the first time, I felt like I was back home in the original trilogy, getting reacquainted with everything that I fell in love with in the first place. I cared about each and every single one of these kids, despite only knowing the names of probably 4 of them, because I felt like I was right at home where I belong. And then it all went to shit, both for me and in the movie. So of all the things that I hated about this movie, they can be narrowed down into the last half hour or so because I hated the third act. Whereas Captain America Civil War had one of the most fantastic, fast-paced, action-packed third acts I've ever seen, this third act was easily the worst third act that I may have ever seen. I'm serious, this third act was worse than Fan Four Stick's third act, and there was no studio meddling this time. A big problem was the fact that there were just way too much build-up, and then when the final fight went down, it just transitioned from one 2-second CGI set piece that was so bad it was nauseating, to about 3 minutes of them just talking, and then back and forth again, in the middle of a war zone with a god. It made no sense, and it made me want to punch a baby. That's how bored I got. In terms of casting, besides the 3 I stated above, who were easily the standouts, the rest of the guys were meh. Fassbender's storyline in the beginning of the movie was so strong, seeing his family killed in front of him yet again. Unfortunately, that all goes downhill after he's recruited by Apocalypse, as he's ultimately another victim of Singer not being able to handle the ensemble properly this time. McAvoy's once again completely overshadowed as Professor X, which sucks because he's just as good if not better than Fassbender every single time, while Jennifer Lawrence completely mailed it in, with the studio once again using her fame as an excuse for their laziness to not apply the makeup and special effects properly to make her blue. Nicholas Hoult was just there again, as per usual, while Evan Peters was great again as Quicksilver, still light years better than Aaron Taylor-Johnson in Age of Ultron, but the problem was because he was actually given more than 10 minutes to show up, I kinda got bored with him. Yeah, he had another cool speed sequence to an awesome song, but it wasn't nearly as special or awesome as the first time I saw it in Days of Future Past. And then there's Apocalypse. Moira was ultimately just there. She literally had no point for being in this movie at all except to awaken Apocalypse like the dummy she is. And the worst thing here is that for the first half of this movie, where Apocalypse is getting entombed in ancient Egypt and his followers turn on him and the original 4 horsemen are using their powers to protect him, that part was really cool. Then when he emerges for the first time in like 1,000 years, his interaction with 80s technology and Storm are really cool. And Oscar Isaac delivers. The man does it every single time. But near the end of the movie, he turned into that unstoppable MacGuffin that is all-powerful and has that one weakness which the heroes, of course, exploit. It really sucks because I love Isaac as an actor, and I'm glad he's getting into more blockbusters so he can get his name out there. And I really did enjoy him for the first half of this movie. After he recruited Storm, though, that was it. Also, Angel and Psylocke were completely wasted. They literally served no other purpose than being mindless hench people. Can't believe it, like X3's Ben Foster Angel better than this loser they got to play him with a shitty CGI wins. Overall, a promising premise that shitted itself really badly near the end, a jumbled ensemble that did everything you're not supposed to do with an ensemble, shoving too many characters in without properly delegating them, and an overall meh installment in the franchise, 2.9 out of 5 stars. And yes, that's the same rating I gave Batman vs. Superman. I did that for a reason. Oh, and this pretty much stands for itself, but the Wolverine scene was badass, as everyone knew it would be. I'm not even bothering to put spoilers here, because the trailer pretty much ruined that. So this review was pretty cool, but if you want a more in-depth look at the movie, go to my website at movienerdreviews.com or follow me on Twitter at movienerdreview. That's it. I'll see you next time.